Good morning. So glad to see so many new friends and old here. Really grateful for people joining in on a Saturday morning. My name is Susan Jennings. I'm Executive Director of Agraria, which is formerly the Arthur Morgan Institute for Community Solutions and founded in 1940 by Arthur Morgan, the man whom we are celebrating, the man and his ideas whom we're celebrating today. Arthur Morgan founded community service in 1940 on the eve of America's entrance into World War II. And though he had done many things, which you'll learn about today and tomorrow, he revitalized Antioch College, was the founding engineer of the Miami Conservancy District, and the first chair of the TVA. He saw community solutions as his culminating legacy because he had increasingly been focused on the small community as the seedbed of democracy and human character. And although globalization and urbanization were not really terms that were widely used then, we feel that he was prescient in his understanding that both of those, globalization and urbanization, would really be a challenge for human democracy. And now, 80 years later, looking back, because we are celebrating the tail end of our 80th anniversary, we recognize how important Arthur Morgan's ideas were during his time, but maybe even increasingly now, when we see a breakdown of many global systems, as well as increasingly fractious conversations in all communities, small communities, big communities, the global community. And we have been exploring how Arthur Morgan's ideas can maybe map a little bit of a path out of some of the challenges that we're in. So we felt that it was worth taking some time to explore his ideas more deeply. And so we turned to our partner in crime, April Wolford from Antioch College, who is acting vice president there, to help us think about an Arthur Morgan legacy seminar. So April, would you like to take it from there?
Yeah, thanks, Susan. I too welcome everybody to the conference. As Susan said, I'm April Wolford. I'm the acting vice president for advancement and the director of alumni relations at Antioch College. I'm also a graduate of the class of 1992 and one of the organizers of the conference with Susan and a band of very smart people. Susan reached out to me several months ago because those of you who know her, she's definitely a planner. And she wanted to celebrate this 80th anniversary of her organization that she leads, but she also wanted to extend that celebration to Morgan's broader legacy. So that's why we widened the discussion to include education, community, service and development, as well as economic development. So we gathered a core group of organizers, including Lee and John Morgan, Don Hollister, and Rose Hardesty. And together we put together this exciting program with the hope of exploring Morgan's work in building his legacy, so the work he did in creating the legacy, and the ways that we apply his visions of progressive education and community to the present and future work we're doing in these areas. So Susan's going to run over the conference schedule for you now, so you know what you're looking forward to.
Having said that, we're going to start off with a keynote by Scott Sanders, who runs the archives at Antioch College and knows about as much about Arthur Morgan as anyone at this point. So we're looking forward to that. And then we're going to spend three sessions on some of the main threads of Arthur Morgan's work. This morning, we are going to be focused on education, and Brooke Bryan, who is the director of cooperative education at Antioch, will kick that off, and she'll be followed by 4 panelists who are focused on some of the main points of Arthur Morgan's legacy in education. We're going to have a similar focus or a similar schedule this afternoon, where Lee Morgan, one of Arthur Morgan's grandsons, will be kicking off a focus on business and Arthur Morgan's ideas of business. And there will be a very lively panel of 4 presenters after that. Tomorrow we are starting at 11 a.m. with a focus on community, and I'll kick that off with some of the key points of Arthur Morgan's ideas about community. And we also have 4 panelists following that presentation. And then in the afternoon, we have the great pleasure of welcoming Raghu Ramdas from Atraniketen in India, one of the projects that Arthur Morgan fostered and cared for his lifetime, and is now cared for by Lee Morgan and others as a legacy organization. And then our final presentation will be Don O'Connor of the Miami Conservancy District. And then if you hang out even longer, you'll get a chance to really explore along with us the ideas that you learned and over the course of the past few days, and thinking about at that point, what is the meaning, or what are the meanings of Arthur Morgan's legacy? And that brings up the point that we really look to all of you who are joining us as important parts of the conversation. So we hope that you put your ideas, questions in the chat, including links. If you have things that you want to share with all the group here, the chat will be downloadable. So anybody who would like to put up resources, again, or ideas, we'd be really grateful to have them. So again, thanks so much for joining us, and I will turn it over to April to introduce our first presenter.